There she sits, body just a gleaming in the sun, there to greet a working man when his day is done. I'm gonna pack my pa and I'm gonna pack my aunt, gonna take 'em down to the Cadillac Ranch. Eldorado fins, whitewells, and the skirts ride just like a little bit of heaven here on earth. But when I die, throw my body in the back, drive me to the junkyard in my Cadillac.
That's a first for us.
Right.
It's a great track. And you were saying off mic that you used to sing these to your kids as nursery rhymes?
Yeah, I don't know
your version?
Yeah, I don't know lullabies, so that was my version of a lullaby for my kids. Yeah,
I think you're going to start something with everybody who's listening. They're going to start doing all the new tracks. Thanks so much, Grant, for opening up the show that way.
Thanks, Manny. Yep.
Welcome to our little studio here, the Construction Life on the show, and it's actually our first show that we're going to talk some serious siding action going on here. That's what we're going to talk about. So, welcome.
Thanks. Yeah, it's great to be here. Yeah, I got to say I'm a little nervous, but I'm a little excited about this. It's something new for.
But you do this like you've been in the siding business for for a chunk of time now, right?
About 20 years now. Yeah. Five in wood siding and about 15, 17 years in vinyl siding. So yeah.
I love going to the trade shows and just having a conversation. I'm not one of those guys who walk by the aisles and just kind of glance and walk on. I actually stop most of the time on every single booth and just start picking their brain because I'm genuinely interested in what's new, what's coming, what's interesting, and see if it's applicable to any projects that I've got coming along, right?
Yeah, we get a lot of inquiries that way. You know, we do a lot of trade shows, not just, kind of trade focused, but consumer focused as well. And, this is a product that's not an impulse purchase. I mean, people, when they look at siding, it's a planned purchase. They go through all the range of emotions as they're kind of going through this, looking at textures and finishes and of course colors. But consumers, when they're looking at this, it can be a bit of a journey for them, anywhere from a couple of months to a couple of years. So as in the planning process.
Yeah, we're gonna have I'm gonna enjoy this conversation. Awesome. I just want to say everybody that Fraser Wood Siding is here in the studio. Fraser Wood Siding, www.fraserwoodsiding.com. You can find them on IG under Fraser Siding. Also reach out to them at area code 506-736-6990, and also their toll free number, which is 1-888-457-3898. And you can reach Grant at gcowx@frasersiding.com.
Fraser Wood Siding. FraserWoodsiding.com.
Oh, sorry, FraserWoodsiding.com.
Yeah.
I missed a wood there. FraserWoodsiding.com on his email if you got any questions, because I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions here.
Yeah, awesome.
I love that you started the show talking about, I guess, the commitment of exterior cladding. And I guess it was a lot easier 20 years ago, so to speak, on selection. But now there's such saturation in the market, and a lot of people, I guess, can't traditionally go the brick route. Right. So then they're looking at other options going on there. But you guys have a high quality product here. And what I like about it is that you guys are offering a wide range of different colors.
Yeah, absolutely. Not just colors, but profiles as well.
Yeah.
And when you look at, this area right now in the construction world, anyone that's building a house, whether it's a brand new build or a renovation, the competition is crazy out there. There's so many choices that customers can look at right now, whether it's vinyl siding or, brick or stone. Then you look into, some of the other cladding options like, cementitious based products and, other high-end vinyl products that are out there as well. But, in the wood siding category, we try to lead the category with the amount of profiles that we've got. We have 17 different profiles. We have an unlimited color selection. So, if customer is looking for, a blue or a white, I mean, there's so many different Pantones within those colors. Someone wants something specific, they just reach out to us and we can do any color under the rainbow, whether it's in our color palette. We use Sherwin-Williams as our paint supplier. But if they're looking for a product in someone else's color, we can definitely match it. And then we've got, our own proprietary colors as well. So
I mean, I'm curious on why you guys, listen, I love the colors. I'm not of the mind that it's like a Chantilly lace world kind of thing, where it's like you're just picking these neutral tones and safe tones. I'm not saying that any of these colors are loud, that you're going to put these on a home, that they're going to stand out completely. There's always a purpose for some of these colors. But I love that you guys made the decision to go this route where you're giving options to the homeowner, because I guess when you get a homeowner that's obviously interested in wood siding, I'm going to say that homeowner is probably slightly more educated and interest in what their curb appeal is going to look like, right? So they're looking at their property and trying to figure out, how do we make our house our home?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. So some people, really like the idea of, kind of stretching the, their design palette a little bit more than what someone else might be. And that's why when our tagline at Fraser Wood Siding is get inspired. So, and that inspiration can be anything from the amounts of different cladding options that are on a home, because you could put, one cladding option, or you could put 3, 4, 5 different cladding options on homes.
If it's done well, it's going to feel comfortable.
Yeah, 100%. So with us, we want to make sure that we appeal to everyone's design palette. And so some people are a little bit more of a risk taker. Other people, like the idea of just kind of staying a little bit more neutral and, and going that way.
But you could still do that. I mean, you guys have, like you said, the colors, right? So
yeah.
I want to get into the origins of Fraser. You guys are going to be at the building show that's coming up.
Yeah, we are. November 29th to the 1st in Toronto. Absolutely.
Yeah, Toronto not International, sorry.
The Convention Center.
Convention Center, yeah. So you guys are going to be there. So basically all the samples are going to be there so you guys can see them. We've got them in the studio here. We'll get into that. But do you want to walk us through, I guess, the company and how it all got started and where it all came from?
Sure, yeah. So we're a Canadian company. Our roots are born and bred in Canada. Our office and manufacturing environment is still in the original location in Edmundston, New Brunswick.
Just grown? The facility's grown?
Yeah, well, the facility's grown. We've invested in it. We've invested millions of dollars into the facility, and we continue to invest in it. Not just in just the infrastructure, but also in our people, in our processes. We're always looking at continuous improvements within Fraser. But we've been there since 1996. We've expanded and grown and looked at different product offerings, and we continue to stay there and continue to support that that part of the community. We have a lot of long-term employees within the company as well. Some that go back to almost 1996 when the company was first founded. But we have a lot of long-term employees, and there's guys like me that have been around for a cup of coffee in the grand scheme of things. But we have a great team there. Our manufacturing facility is fantastic. We take a lot of pride in the product that we put out, and we hope that our customers feel the same when they have it on their wall.
So you've got 2 markets there, and obviously all the products all coming from, it's all being milled from Canada, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and then you guys are also selling all across Canada, all across the U.S., but you're also selling in Europe as well, too.
Yeah, yeah.
What are some of the countries in Europe that are very interested in your products?
So right now we have a great relationship with our distributor in the UK, in Ireland, a company called Global Timber Products. Mm-hmm. We're looking at expansion into other parts of Europe right now. We're just getting close to kind of inking some deals on that right now. Hopefully by January or so, we'll have that all kind of buttoned down. We'll have an announcement for everybody.
That's a lot. That's a big task, getting into a new market like that.
Yeah, it's a challenge, and of course, we just came out of COVID, which was a problem for everybody in our industry and outside of our industry for that matter. But just developing relationships is so difficult, and we're a relationship driven company. I mean, our ownership group, I think our parent company is almost 100 years old. Wow. Under the same ownership family for the last 50 odd years. And so it's the Livermore family who owns our company. And, their whole, business is built on relationships, and it kind of drives from the top down. So we kind of look for that same kind of relationship with our partners. And finding that relationship was difficult when we weren't able to travel around and meet people, but now we're doing that, and we're finding like-minded companies who want to sell a value-added product like ours and represent our products as the way we would to our customers.
I love, Grant, that you brought like samples in here, and everybody that's listened to the show knows that I'm a wood guy. I've always been. I think I always will be. I just, when I'm seeing these samples, and I'm also big on bold colors and interesting tones, but I guess you guys, along with other people that are in the industry, you have two avenues that you're traveling. You're traveling the client route and you're traveling the trade route.
Yeah.
And I get that. I feel the sense that most trades these days rather use products that maybe they think are faster and simpler to get the product finished and then paid and then move on to the next one. When I kind of missed the earlier days of my construction days where that wasn't even a part of the situation. It was really about tradespeople finding great quality products, installing them, be very proud of it, and seeing that expression from the homeowners that they made the right choice with the product and with the tradesperson.
Yeah.
Has that changed over the years?
Yeah, somewhat. I think that as we kind of look into the construction world these days, you have a lot of people that are in the business that, as you say, I mean, they want to just kind of get through the job and, kind of, they don't really pay as much attention to the detail as what homeowners want their contractors to do or expect. And then you get the other ones who are those leading contractors and builders and architects who really kind of, do as you say, where they're, building for all the right reasons. They want to have a quality product. They want to make sure their customers are happy with the end result. And so with us, we feel that making sure that you provide the right product to the customer at the best value prop, whatever that value prop is to them. Maybe it's the aesthetic, maybe it's the the final the texture, the finish. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that the customers that we're dealing with are focused on quality and not so much putting product up very quickly.
Well, it's the mindset of, and I'm sure that you've seen this because I'm seeing it. It's the mindset of the industry, I guess, with the homeowners. I'm kind of glad that the funny years that we had recently, I think, educated a lot of homeowners to realize that stay put longer in their homes instead of trying to move every 5 years and try to upsell their homes to get into larger spaces. And I think a lot of people really were educated on, we don't need bigger, we don't need more, we just need better where we are.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then let's remodel this property and let's make this property our forever home, which means, okay, we need a little bit more space in the back. Let's do an addition. Most of the time you do an addition, you have the freedom to do an accent where you can come and choose a product like from your line and use that as your exterior. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's nice to have those conversations again. That's why I say there's a positive between those funny years.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate. Just kind of back to our customers, like our contractor customers, guys that are really good at doing their jobs and building a home or putting on cladding, they know they're good.
Yeah.
And they spend the time making sure that it looks perfect for their customers. And that's really where, our product kind of fits in. We're not, we'd love to be on, these, massive builds, but, you're, at that point you're, probably looking at saving a little bit of money from a builder standpoint, and we get that too, right? But for us, making sure we've got the right customer, specifying our product, making sure the architect and the designer, and making sure we have the right partners, knowing how to install this product, and selling that value prop to the customer is so important.
I like seeing, like, there's one in particular that I was following because he was actually doing a lot of profiles on posts on a backyard project of his. And he was spending the time and effort working the skill level to get the miters properly. And you guys also, not just on the siding side, you're offering profiles as well too.
Yeah.
So it's like you can see certain tradespeople, they want to elevate their business to a certain point that they want to continue that pride behind the craft. So you can see it, and I saw it recently with Joe Santangelo, where he's tip-top exteriors, and he was doing this column, and he was just explaining how it took the whole day just to work the base, to work the next molding, to work the cladding around the whole post. And you can see that there was 4 or 5 posts that he had to handle it, but he knew that it was going to take time. He knew that he had to use quality products, and he knew that he had to build it a certain way. And that, I think, translates to the homeowner at that point. Yeah. And I want to see more tradespeople doing that instead of just like slap it on, get it done, and then move on to the next project.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Some of the guys that, I mean, I look at these guys on some of these job sites and see the attention to detail that they put in. It's crazy. And then you stand there and you can learn from them just how they go.
You first wonder, where'd you get the skill? Yeah. Who taught you that? How did that get started? Right.
Yeah. And a lot of it, I think, is just experience. You know, they probably just, maybe they've made a mistake in the past and have learned from it or corrected it as they went through. But yeah, those guys are on the walls hanging our stuff, and, you know, builders that are using this stuff, you know, I always say they've forgotten more than what I know. And it's incredible watching them.
Why is it that, I guess when you start getting into wood siding, is it just the cost that you're competing against when it comes to, I guess, competitors and clients looking at the numbers at that point? Because I don't think that's a fair argument. Yeah. Because I look at it like, this is your first line of defense to Mother Nature, protecting your home. And I've had the same conversation when we're doing like roofing shows. And I'm like, that's your roof. Like, that's protecting your home. So it's no different than with the exterior cladding and the siding. So why do you want to factor in a cheaper product?
Yeah, I think cost is important for most of our customers. I think when you look at what people consider as their first priority, it's how the home looks at the end. Yeah. Right. That's probably their first thing, because they have a vision in their mind's eye what they want their home to look like. At some point, price is always factored in, because we're a high end product, but we're not the highest end product out there. And there's products that are out there that are multiple costs of what ours are. But, you know, customers, when they're looking for ours, I think the first thing they're looking for is they want wood siding, or they want the look of wood siding, because there's other products out there that try to replicate the look of wood siding, but it's not wood siding. Yep. Right. So, and then, you know, there's also maybe, I always think that there's probably a little bit of an allure of a memory that someone may have had growing up that kind of links them back into the wood siding category. Maybe they visited an aunt or an uncle or a grandparent's cottage or home back in the day. Yep. And that kind of takes them back to that time, consciously or subconsciously. And I think other people, they just like, nope, I want wood siding because it's the exact look that I'm looking for.
It's a warmth. Like, I find it as a warmth when I see a good quality siding and I see the home that you're visiting or you're looking at. I don't think you get that warmth with vinyl. I don't think you get that warmth with other, and I'm not knocking the other ones. I'm just saying that if you're in construction, I'm speaking through the perspective of a tradesperson. I don't think there's a single material that a good tradesperson doesn't touch, doesn't hold in their hand, and have a sense of what it is like to work with that product. And by touching it and experiencing that product, you already know what the value is attached to that installation. That's how I look at it. That's why I started by saying that I'm a wood guy. I will always be a wood guy. I appreciate that product getting on there. And I think that it looks great when you see a property like that. But you're totally right on the visitations is seasonal. You have a moment. It could be the fall, could be the winter, could be the summer, what have you. It's just there's a reason why there's paintings and cards and, you know, certain seasonal functions that's the type of home that's depicted in there. Right. And you kind of get that sense of warmth from your childhood, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know back in the day when I was growing up, you know, my grandparents had my mother was born in a log cabin. Right. So, and then, you know, they moved into a different place, but there was always wood on home. So I have an affection for the wood siding category, just my own personal feeling. But I think a lot of people have that same kind of thing. And then there's just people that just like the look of it, for whatever their reasons are. But at the end of the day, it's, you know, all the other categories, you know, one of their selling points is that they have an emboss or they have a look to look like wood siding. Whether it achieves that goal in all, you know, aspects or not is debatable. But, you know, there's great products out there that offer that look, right? So what I like about wood siding is that it's not a perfect looking product. I always say
the imperfection are making it
is what makes it perfect.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. I mean, it's like you want your home. Okay, when it's finished, it doesn't need to look pristine.
Yeah,
like it needs to be worn in. It needs to be aged. Because that's what Mother Nature's doing to it. But it's still being protective.
Yeah.
Right. So I totally agree with you. The imperfections of perfection is what it basically creates.
Yeah.
I know that a little bit later on, we're going to speak with plant manager.
Yeah. Lisa Roussel.
Yeah. So she's going to get on the Zoom and we're going to get more into the depth of that. But I know that you wanted to actually chat about the different profiles that you have going on and you want to share that. So do you want to pull some of the samples and just so we can show?
So we have, as I mentioned earlier, we have 17 different profiles, but we have those 17 profiles in 2 different series.
Okay.
This is our evolution series, which which is really where the trend is going right now.
This is what I got going on here, right?
Yeah. So what's nice about our evolution series, which is available in 3 different profiles, the evolution has some value of its own in that we call it Fraser lock technology. So it locks the boards together.
Yep.
On 4 sides. So we have a tongue and groove on the ends of the boards, and then we have a T&G on the top. But what's nice about this is that there's no fasteners that you can see. So it's a hidden fastener system. The staple actually go into the nailing hem.
Yep.
And then your next board goes on over top, and it hides that, right? So we have that kind of classic look in a bevel profile, which a lot of people like.
Yep.
But the real trend is really kind of going to these flatter, more contemporary looking products in our Evolution, Euro V, and Neo, which is probably our best selling SKU right now. So kind of gives you that classic kind of feel with a little bit more of a modern contemporary take.
Am I wrong to say that older siding was wider, but it was narrower before it became wider, and now it's going back to being narrower?
Yeah, it is. And so, in the wood siding world, part of the thing that's driving that is the amount of wood that's available, right? So, not just in Canada, but around the world, there's challenges with wood, right? So, in Canada, we've had to deal with not only fires, but also, insect infestation over the last number of years, which impacts the amount of lumber you're actually able to harvest out of various acreage, right? So, but all of our lumber that we use, it's all PEFC certified. So there's an environmental component to our product. All the wood that's harvested is also, we reforest, right? So it's very important to us. So what you're taking
out, you're actually putting back in, regrowing it, and then taking it out again.
Yep. So it's all PEFC certified, and it's all Canadian softwood. Everything we manufacture, it's all Canadian softwood from British Columbia, and we bring it to New Brunswick and we profile it all there.
Do you know, I'm just curious, like across the country and I guess across the US, we have different tastes. So like what are the leaders in, I guess, the eastern side here versus the western side with a West and Vancouver?
As far as the wood substrates?
Yeah, no, not substrates, just the actual products themselves. What are they leaning towards? Are they liking the traditional one? Are they liking, which one are they more interested in?
Profiles?
Yeah.
Neo is our best selling profile
across the country.
Now. Yeah. Not, I would say even in the US when we're selling.
Really?
Yeah. Cause it's, it's just, when you look at the joint, it's just a little bit more of a squared edge, and that's a little bit more of that contemporary feel. Whereas if you look at our, this is our Neo, our Euro V has a little bit of a V groove to it, right?
Yeah.
So the Neo is a little bit more of a squared off edge, and the Neo has just a little bit more of that V look. Right?
Yeah, there's a rounded and then there's a V, so you're creating some sort of like almost like a beveled look overall.
Yeah. So that's kind of where the trends are right now in our evolution series. You're talking about the wider lengths, the wider widths versus some of the more narrow one. We have this available in an 8-inch and a 6-inch profile, and a handful of different profiles, which we'll get into. And we also have a board and batten in an 8-inch and a 10-inch wide profile.
The 10-inch must be nice, yeah.
So the difference between our classic series and the evolution series is that where evolution has a hidden fastener, our classic series is face nailed. right? So we actually have nails that go into the face of the boards.
Okay.
On an 8-inch board, we put in 2 nails.
2 nails.
And on a 6-inch board, it's 1 nail. But the great thing about the nails that we have is they're all color matched.
I was just about to ask you.
Right.
Because
So-
it makes sense. If you're offering all these colors, it makes sense that you guys would also be offering up those face nails.
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah.
it's in the same batch of paint that the siding is produced in. So it's the exact same.
So it's brilliant at that
Yeah,
point.
Yeah. So we've got it in Euro V Neo and bevel. And then we also have 6-inch profiles as well. Right. So I'm not sure if the cameras are picking up on that. So
If you can go a little bit that way, it's fine.
so is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So
I'm
so,
actually liking the wider plank.
So a lot of it comes down to personal taste, right? So it used to be, even in the other categories that I played in, used to be like vinyl as an example, D4, D5, Dutch lap kind of profiles were the trend, and then they started going wider profiles. They wanted to have a 5, 6, 7, 8-inch profile. It's kind of where that trend was going. With us, 6-inch profile still probably our best selling profile until you get into the board and batten, just because of the amount of lengths that the size of the projects that we have, the lengths of those, total linear footage, we probably sell more board and batten.
Board and batten.
Yeah, on a job, right?
I see that. I could totally see that. I know on the previous board that you had there, what's the color of choice that people are leaning towards? Because that brown on the Euro V, like that's a nice brown.
Classic old style. That's where your tastes are.
I'm liking that brown there, right?
Yeah.
So can you see that? No, you can't see it on the. Yeah, you totally. Yeah. I mean, I'm like, as much as I like the Neo and the black, I'm liking that brown.
Yeah, yeah. So so that's really kind of that classic historical color. But if we look at trends right now today, people are into the darker colors. We sell a lot of blacks, a lot of dark blues.
How are the dark colors dealing with Mother Nature, though?
Yeah, it's a challenge for sure.
Okay.
They just absorb so much heat,
Yeah.
these days. So, it's a trend for sure. People like the look of black. We're also starting to see now, the reverse to the black. People love the look of that farmhouse look, the white farmhouse.
Yeah.
Right. So they're going whites or lighter colors with darker trims.
You guys are doing the whites on the board and batten as well?
Absolutely. We do a white on
that would look
anything.
stunning.
Yeah.
Because you would actually read that grainness on it.
Yeah.
You would think at first you wouldn't, and it might come across as a non-man-made product, right? And you'd be like, no. You would read it a lot better.
It's striking.
Yeah.
When you look at a white home in a board and batten,
Yes.
among other homes that are done in stone or other things, it stands out. It's they're so beautiful. We have a lot of builders that are in. We're in Oakville, Mississauga, Burlington area. We have a lot of builders that are using that color right now, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, you see it. You totally see it around here. You totally, yeah.
But black still is the trend right now. Sorry, darker colors is the trend still right now. But we're starting to see a swing to the lighter colors. People are looking at their color palettes from the inside of their home and they're bringing them outside. So you're seeing a lot more earthy tones that are coming from the inside of their home, and they're looking at that to continue that look to the outside of their home.
Hey, architects and builders, do you want to stand out from your competition? Fraser Wood Siding has your back. Fraser Wood Siding is a leader in pre-finished wood siding. They manufacture beautiful pre-finished wood siding using only the highest quality PEFC certified Canadian softwood. Fraser Wood Siding is available in 17 profiles and unlimited colors, supplied by the global leader in paints, Sherwin-Williams. Whether your design taste is classic, contemporary, conservative, or bold, they've got you covered. They'll gladly match the color of any paint manufacturer and send you a sample on an actual piece of Fraser Wood Siding in just a few days. Visit their website, www.fraserwoodsiding.com, and reach out about your upcoming projects to benefit from their industry-leading lead times. Fraser Wood Siding, get inspired.
A little bit more warmer.
I mean, like, Grant, isn't it? I mean, when you get into this world of siding, right? You can probably put those down there, yeah. When you get into this world of siding, is it not more of an emotional connection? for the homeowner. And I'm just assuming that the younger homeowners are doing this. And I think the younger tradespeople are also kind of educating these homeowners to do this, right? To understand what it feels like. They're not the homeowner that drives home, tries to figure out which house is theirs because they all look the same, and then opens up the garage door and drives right into the garage, closes the garage door, and then walks into the house and has completely ignored the home that they're entering. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure how to answer that because, we have a lot of our younger customers, homeowner customers that are getting into the housing market, for the first or second time.
Yeah.
And, their tastes really are that kind of, very modular, square, contemporary look. And we're seeing a lot of grays, that are, and some of the lighter, earthy brown tones. And they're accenting it with a lot more of the metal products that are out there these days. Right. So, and again, they're really creative, in their design, process, and the guys that are working with them, whether it's the architect and the designer and the builder, those early adopters, with that mindset, they're coming in and they're coming up with some phenomenal looks, whether it's a contemporary product like our classic kind of installation, or they space them apart a little bit more and they have a little bit more of that European flair that's coming into North America these days. But it's certainly is an evolution.
That's where I'm going with it. I'm trying to I want these homeowners, these younger homeowners, to understand that you need a tradesperson that understands how to work this product, but also to the point that you just brought up, the younger homeowners are mixing and matching. They're introducing different elements, whether that's a stone that's next to this siding or a piece of metal. It could be ACM or something like that. And you need to know the building envelope and how to connect the two together to make sure that it works properly. Yeah. Because I think this younger generation isn't interested in having the entire home at one kind of cladding. They want to mix and match versus, I guess, the older generation would be looking at the whole home. They want to walk around their property because they're spending the time and effort gardening and setting up the sides of the house as much as they're doing the front and the back of the house. So versus these other younger homeowners, they're just focused more on a great entry and a great backyard and not really focusing on the side. So then they'll choose other materials at that point. Yeah. But you need a tradesperson that has this knowledge, and they don't get this knowledge unless they start messing around with these products and speaking to someone like yourself.
Yeah, right? and years of experience doing that, right? Yes. So at Fraser, much like I'm sure a lot of our everybody in the building world, we try to focus our time from a manufacturer's standpoint to reach out to the architect and the designer and the builder and the contractor to make sure that they're aware of our products and how we can add value to the homeowner's design appeal. But for them to go forward to their customers and say, well, here's why we recommend these products. Reaching that customer demographic is so important for us, whereas we rely a lot of our distributor partners, who we have great partners, throughout Canada, the U.S., and in Europe. We rely on them to develop that relationship and provide the product knowledge to the guys that are at the stores, so that as consumers are coming in after they've talked to a customer or to a contractor, that they can go into the store and say, hey, I'm interested in these products. What do you think of them? Because they're doing their research and trying to validate, their decision process. So we try to give as much information to all the different customers that we touch, but we focus on the architect and the contractor because those are the guys that are the biggest influencer to the homeowner, right?
They'll make that recommendation, right? But it's always nice to still get the boots on the ground, the opinion, because as much as you guys, talk a little bit about the warranty that's associated with this product, because obviously the darker colors, they will fade depending on the position of your home and how it's going to work. And homeowners are starting to get savvy about this on wear and tear regarding Mother Nature and how the house is exposed. But the warranties are there, but you still have the boots on the ground people that are installing this a certain way that's going to last a very, very long time.
Yeah, so that's great. I'm glad we're talking about that because we try to promote our product certainly as value. And, you know, people are spending a lot of money on any cladding, and, you know, and in particular in Fraser wood siding, they're spending a lot of money to make their home the way they want it to look. Yeah. And if you go with any color, whether it's a lighter color or a darker color, any color is going to fade over time. And so one of the things that we actively promote at Fraser is that, you know, not only are we the industry leader with our warranties and our partnership with Sherwin-Williams, we also have industry-leading lead times as well. But our product is not a maintenance-free product. And we always want to make sure that customers are aware of that, whether it's wood siding you have in your home or if you have a dark-colored stone in your home, over time it's going to fade. And so there definitely is a maintenance aspect to it. But from a warranty standpoint, we have the best warranty in the trade right now. We're 20 years on our solid stains. Wow. We have a 50-year up to a 50-year rot warranty, as long as the product is installed correctly, which is so critical these days. Back to, you know, having the right guys do the installation and have the product specified and designed properly on the wall, using rain screens and proper clearances, the product will last lifetimes.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't even call it wear and tear. I like a home that gets aged. Mm-hmm. I just like it, whether it's brick or any other cladding material, it ages, and it ages a certain way because it was designed a certain way and then it was installed a certain way. So it's correctly aging properly.
Right.
And that age actually adds value to the character of the house.
Yeah, you bet.
You see it. You totally see it. And it's like, it'll be slightly different when you first see it. It's completed and you walk up to it and you touch it and you experience it. You're like, that looks amazing. It's perfect. It all works great. 10 years down the line, you come and you'll actually have a slightly different experience at that point because you'll see the age attached to that product. Right? Yeah. Yeah. That's what I like. So I wouldn't really call it wear and tear. Yeah. I think it's just nicely aged.
Yeah.
As we get older, it's kind of like
that's what I tell my wife. I'm nicely aged. Yeah. My hair is nicely aged.
we're weathered in a good way. That's what we are, right?
Yeah.
But I totally agree with you on that. Yeah. So you need the right people attached to it and getting it, and then you need the homeowners that need to do the right homework that's attached to it, right?
Yeah. And we have I think we have a pretty good website. A lot of information on the website, you know, wood siding, fraserwoodsiding.com. And we try to provide as much information to a customer as they're doing the research on various claddings or substrates, you know, in order to put on their home. We try to give them as much information as possible so that they can make an educated decision on their home.
Is it too much, Grant? Like, is there too much option out there right now?
No, I wouldn't say so.
I think if you're already focused on everybody's got an idea of what their dream that they want.
Yeah.
So I think that starts to narrow down your selection process.
Competition's great.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're the only game in town, it's nice. You know, you get to enjoy that. But you know, doesn't competition make everybody better?
Yeah.
Right. So and it's great for a customer to know that there's options that are out there, and every competitor that we have. We pay attention to what they do and what they say, and you know we make sure that we keep up to what the industry is doing as well, whether they're directly in our category or you know they're a couple of degrees off. But competition is great. It makes us better. We hope that we make the category better, and every time someone comes into the category, it draws attention to us. So yeah,
you guys are doing your homework, right? Like you have to be doing. It's not necessarily. I think any successful business product, and you got to pay attention just on the sidelines of what's going on out there, right? But you got to see what customers are asking for, what tradespeople are asking for, but also what's the competition giving up on the market there.
Yeah,
and then you got to decide whether or not you want to go down that route or you. But I'm assuming, because I don't know the manufacturing side of it, that you guys are doing a lot of testing as well too.
Absolutely, yeah. We're working on things every day that we're cautiously optimistic of launching into the category in the next very short time, which would be great for Fraser and the category and the homeowner and you know just the industry as a whole. So as they say, if you're not continuing to try to reinvent yourself and get better, you're stepping back.
Are we getting back to somewhat normal lead times now? Like if people are interested, or are we still kind of struggling a little bit?
Some customers, some competitors are working on some significant lead times. You know, we're again, we promote ourselves as industry leading lead times right now. Hypothetically, if I got a purchase order today, I would produce that order in 3 weeks. It'd be onto my distributor's truck that next week, usually out to a customer the week after. So somewhere between 6 to 7 weeks, the customer will have it on their site. Yeah. So,
wow. Okay, so now I want to. I guess we're going to turn it over. We want to connect with Lisa.
Yeah, it's
and
great.
then we want to start talking a little bit with her about manufacturing. So let's get her on the Zoom call. And okay, Lisa, welcome to the show. I know that we just patched you in, and we got Grant here still in the studio, and you're back at the manufacturing process, right?
Yes, correct.
What's your official title?
I am the plant manager here.
Okay, so you take care of the day-to-day, what goes on.
Yeah, that's right.
And how long you been there?
I've been with the company for 10 years now.
And this is this is in New Brunswick.
Yeah, Edmonton, New Brunswick.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So we interviewed Big Dog, Aaron, and he's out of New Brunswick as well, too.
Okay.
And he's a big siding guy out there. So he's probably listening right now.
Okay. Hey, Big Dog.
Yeah, big. There we go. So what can you tell us, Lisa, about, I guess, the manufacturing side of Fraser Siding?
Oh, well, I guess it's pretty similar to every other manufacturing plant, I guess, with, we're getting raw wood in and transforming that into siding. And then we have another department that handles all of the pre-finishing, so the painting. And, everything else that comes with it, employees, quality control, all that jazz.
How many board feet do you know offhand that you guys are producing on, I guess, daily, weekly basis?
It ranges.
I'm not sure, but go ahead, Grant.
Yeah, it ranges based on seasons. As we kind of get into, the January, February timeframe, just because it's normally a little bit slower then, it ranges quite a bit. But believe it or not, this time of year is one of our busiest times. People are trying to get their houses finished before the snow starts flying.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So we get people that have, rushed to get their permits in the summertime. They get building, and then you're kind of looking at August and September going, yeah, okay, we're looking pretty good. And who's ordered the siding? And, so usually it's the last thing to get ordered. So we're running right now. We're crazy busy right now. As a matter of fact, yesterday we had our busiest daily production run in the history of the company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I guess you saw that, Lisa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is the plant working? Is it 5 days or all every day of the week?
It's 5 days a week, and we have our shifts, I guess, Monday to Thursday, 9-hour days, and then Fridays, we're off at 11.
Oh, casual Fridays.
Yeah, yeah. But that, so one of the things that, we tried to do, because our area that we draw from in Edmonton, New Brunswick, you can imagine it's a smaller community. Mm-hmm. I think our population that we draw from is just less than 20,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Right. So, and we compete against some pretty big competitors out there. Like Irving has a plant not too far from our facility. So for us to get employees to come to work for us, and really good employees, and hold on to them, we have to be somewhat creative and find ways to keep them with us. So I guess about a year and a half ago, Lisa and the team kind of chatted with the folks that we've got at the plant and try to find different ways to make sure they're continually engaged. And we modified their day so we could give them Friday afternoons off.
I like that. That makes a lot of sense. But you guys are, what would you say, Grant? You were saying like it was 17 different lines or different products?
17 different profiles.
Profiles, yeah. So you're handling all of that at the factory, the manufacturing process.
Yep. So lots of different setups on our molders and our Roussel and paint lines. So we try to group together as much as we can so that we can gain efficiencies. But to Grant's point, it is not always easy. And but whatever we want to offer our customers, we have to go ahead and handle all of that.
How much is it, I guess because you guys are, and I love this part of Fraser, you're offering so many different colors, whether they can be custom colors or just a wide variety of colors that you already have. That starts factoring in quite a bit into manufacturing, no?
Absolutely. Yeah. I guess to the same point, we get a lot of whites, so we try to group those together and run them back to back. And then after that, we go from light colors to dark colors within any one day. But I would say, gosh, probably over 80% are custom colors.
And then I guess there's a whole quality control, I guess, of the raw material coming in first, and then the material after it's been completed and milled coming out and getting ready for packaging. You're handling all that stuff.
Yep, yep. A lot of different checkpoints. The crew, they have like checklists, and they have to check profiles and measurements and everything all every 15 minutes. So make sure that the machines don't get out of spec and the settings that aren't good anymore. And then same thing at the paint line. We look at everything and we compare it's called a delta E for the colors. So we compare the delta E between the sample we sent out to the customer and the actual order. So simple. We just put a drop of paint on a card and have a special color eye that reads that and can tell us if we are within spec for that color.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
because of I guess future or matching.
Yeah, it's so when we have an amazing sample process. So we don't actually send an order out unless the customer sees the sample piece with the color on it. And so let's say, for example, we're just starting down the process with you and your family looking at wood siding. You're looking for 2 or 3 different colors. Our sample portal, you'll go onto that. You'll enter your colors, your profiles. We'll have that land at our paint technician's desk in the morning. They'll paint it, have it dry. It'll go out in the courier that day, and literally someone will receive their sample within days of the request.
Wow.
And that's all done with Lisa's team. And when the customer finally decides to place the order, they use that reference number for that specific color and profile. Then we produce the batch of paint to the recipe of that sample reference.
So it sounds like you guys are acting like clients, like you're making their lives a lot easier. That's what it sounds like, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a clever approach.
Well, you look at, the paint process, and someone's looking at a swatch of paint 1 inch by 1 inch, and they're trying, and I can't do it. I mean, I have a piece of paper.
I want to
see
it on this.
So you can take this, you take it to your home or your cottage or wherever your place is, and you can walk around with it in different times of the day to see if the color actually is what you're looking for.
I love that you said that, because I've always said that. I've always encouraged them morning, noon, and night.
Just makes such a big difference.
Makes a huge difference on what it's going to look like.
Yeah. So
consider the artificial light that's going to be cascading on it, like all kinds of things like that.
All the colors that we're showing here look different inside than if we went into the parking lot and stood outside on a sunny day or an overcast day.
But I mean, Lisa, you also have the huge task of, I guess, shipping. Now you got to manufacture this, and I guess what's the longest lengths that you're dealing with here?
16 footers. So
you're
it's a random length 4 to 16.
Yeah, so you got 16 footers, and you got transport that's going all across Canada, all across your U.S., and then also taking off to Europe as well.
Yeah.
So plenty of orders.
It is a challenge to make sure that we maximize quantities fitting inside a bundle, because it's basically like a big puzzle. Within an order, you're going to get so many 4s, 5s, 6s, and all the way up to 16s. So if you're using a 16-foot pallet, then it becomes kind of Tetris trying to get that all to fit on the same pallet and maximize it. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
But it's the efficiency that you're looking at, that you're deciding on to make that. So when someone puts an order in, they understand that efficiency is being factored into the entire process.
Well, I guess because of the way that we manufacture and with the nature of lumber, it's hard to get away from having a random length program. So what we try to do is maximize on the longer lengths, because that's what customers like. So we actually have a split which looks kind of like 70-30. So 70% longs and 30% shorts.
Okay.
And I mean, based on that, then we minimize the shorter lengths, but we can also put those end to end within a bundle to maximize packaging.
And then I
But
guess
there are no limits for package size when we get an order. So basically, just for an idea, we can fit approximately 4,000 lineal feet of 1x6 siding within a lift.
oh wow. And then I guess you also are tasked with when new products are coming down the pipe, and you have to prepare for, I guess, that new line or what's going to happen now, and you have to figure out how to add that into the mix as well too.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys are doing. You're expanding, and you're listening to the market. I guess you're listening to clients. You're listening to tradespeople. You're trying to get a gauge of where we're going to head. Where's Fraser going to be 5 years from now? What homeowners are going to be interested in? What products possibly that might not move as quickly? Like these are all things that are factoring into the manufacturing process.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we get requests all the time from customers and from sales. Asking for different things, new profiles, thicker profiles, thinner profiles, different designs, all sorts of things. And we're no strangers to experimenting and, making those technical drawings and trying stuff out on our mold. That's pretty fun.
Any interesting or challenges that came across your table or clients were requesting?
Well, I guess it's usually within kind of the same palette. I mean, we've received some interesting requests from our European customers, especially something that you never think that you would see in Canada. You're just like blown away, like people like this.
Like what? Does something come to mind? I'd love to know.
Well, just this one time, customer asked for a profile that was called Free Willy. So it was basically gosh, like only two inches wide, but it was like a full 1 inch or even more than 1 inch thick, and it was this crazy looking kind of thing.
It's like a batten.
One into the
It's
other,
like a batten. Yeah.
Why was it called free?
Like a tongue and groove batten, basically. Yeah.
Okay, well, why was it called Free Willy?
I have no clue.
I mean, my first thought was the movie and
Yeah.
a killer whale, and I'm like, how does a 2 inch by 1 inch thick batten get the name Free Willy?
Well, maybe whoever looked at it maybe thought it looked like a whale. That'd be my best guess.
Maybe. What country are we talking about here? I could track them down and talk to them.
I think it was Belgium.
Yeah. Was it? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, we've interviewed somebody in Belgium, so I might ask her about that.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious. Okay, that's actually very interesting that someone was requesting that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We get requests, frequently, and we always do our best to see if we can accommodate the request. We might get one or two right now a month. We've actually just completed a couple of custom profiles for customers that don't deviate too far from what our current profiles look like. But then other times we get some requests that are a little bit different for us, and we try to understand what the installation will look like.
Yeah.
So, like as an example, like the wall behind you is really kind of an interesting cladding profile in Europe. Not necessarily so much in all the different configurations, but the spacing in between the battens.
Yeah.
It's popular in Europe, and it's something that we're trying to understand how we can offer that type of a product in North America, because our building envelope is different. All right.
It is different, but it's just I think it lends to creativity. And I go back to our earlier conversation where we were talking about a certain type of homeowner, a certain type of tradesperson that is interested in the challenges, right? So it's nice that you guys have such, I'm assuming, open manufacturing process outside of sharing trade secrets, but you guys are more than willing to communicate with homeowners and communicate with tradespeople on, let me see a sample. Let's discuss what we can possibly do. This is our objective. Because you guys are seeing drawings and you're seeing just that draw, that image that architects and designers will put on the drawing, and then they'll just fill it in saying siding. That's the extent of it. That's the start of the visualization. But until you start communicating with you guys, you start getting a better idea of what that one word on that drawing actually is going to look like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that engagement with the customer is so important for us because we never want to take a look at a request and just say, well, no, we can't do it because it's not in our current portfolio. We look at it and go, oh, that's kind of interesting. Well, can we do it? What's the impact to us? What's the impact to the customer? Because we have some limitations as well. I mean, they may have to buy 20% more, just because we have to cull the lumber in order to make that specific profile. So there's some things that we have to, but we engage with the customer and we say, yeah, okay, let's take a look at it. We'll do a drawing for them. If they like the drawing, then we'll do a sample, like a prototype for them, send it out. If they like that, then we just keep going down the path farther and farther until we can get to agreement on what that profile looks like. Then we can price it out.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, I'd even actually get into that conversation, Lisa, because you're also handling, and which we're going to talk about after we let you go, the profiles, the trim, and everything like that. That's all being manufactured there as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. All siding and all trims.
Wow. So you got your work cut. So you don't get half Fridays. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't.
You're the only one person that doesn't get the half Fridays there. No, I mean, you guys are doing amazing products and amazing work, and I love that it's in Canada there and it's being produced. It's being actually milled and then produced and then sent out, and the world's enjoying it. So I really appreciate your time, Lisa. I know that you're a busy person, so we just wanted to connect. Grant suggested it, and I thought it was a brilliant idea. And I'm a huge fan of maybe one day I'll show up in your neck of the woods and actually take a plant tour and check out the facilities. Trust me, I won't take pictures. I won't do any video or anything like that, but I'll retain it. I'll just retain all the information.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're more than welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, Lisa. We'll let you go.
All right.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you, Lisa.
Are you a homeowner who's looking to add value to your home, improve your curb appeal, and stand out from your neighbors? Fraser Wood Siding is a leader in pre-finished wood siding, manufacturing beautiful pre-finished wood siding using high-quality Canadian softwood. Do you have a specific color that you love? No problem. Fraser Wood Siding can match that color and send it to you to review in the comfort of your own home on an actual piece of Fraser Wood Siding. With their 17 profiles and industry-leading warranty, Fraser Wood Siding has you covered. Visit their website, www.fraserwoodsiding.com, and check out their products online. You can even request a sample directly from the website. Simply click the Request a Sample link and fill in your information, and your sample will arrive in just a few days. Fraser Wood Siding, get inspired. Okay, so that was good. Thanks so much, Grant, for setting that up.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, the great thing about Lisa that we didn't even really touch on is that she's been with us for 10 years, but she started off in the company as an administrative person, and she worked her way up to the plant manager's role. It's, I mean, as we all know, I mean, the females in the construction industry, I wouldn't say it's rare, but there's not as many of them as what we like to see in this business. And, for Lisa to, work her way up into a plant manager's role within Edmonton, New Brunswick, which, is
small town.
It's a small town. And, she's done really well. Yeah. We've got a great team there, and she helps us, put some fantastic products in the marketplalouse. We got a great team there. Did she have
a construction background when she first got in as admin?
No.
Well, she does now.
Yeah, she does now. Yeah, she lots of information there with her, and she's got a great team with her. Like all of our guys on the paint side and the production side, wealth of knowledge from those guys, and she's just kind of this sponge that kind of helps put it all together and connects everybody within the business. It's great.
I know that you hinted at the Sherwin-Williams, and I'm glad because I respect their products, and it's great quality products. And I guess you guys did a lot of testing with them, with your products, and make sure that you've got the colors that you needed to, and also the transparency that you needed to, right? Do you want to touch upon a little bit of that relationship with Sherwin-Williams?
Yeah, well, I mean, the interesting thing about Sherwin is, so with Fraser being started in the mid-90s, we used a product called Cabot stains. Yeah. And Sherwin acquired the Cabot line a number of years ago. So really, I mean, our history with Sherwin goes back to the inception of Fraser. So we've had a long-standing relationship with that group, and they're a good partner for us. Aside from the brand recognition, they're in our plant frequently helping us, tweak the formula, tweak, our process to make sure that we're getting the right coverage, which, as you're looking at some of our different, we have 3 different textures. We have a rough, smooth, and an HD finish.
Yeah.
And each of those poses its own challenge when you're applying paint to it, because you have to make sure that the paint goes evenly across that board. And if you look at wood fiber under a microscope, you have these kind of peaks and valleys.
The hairs.
Yeah, and you got to make sure you cover.
Doesn't matter how smooth it is, you're still gonna have hairs.
Yeah. So, but so they're a great partner for us. And what we also like about it is if a customer is, years down the road looking to do a recoat, well, they can find a Sherwin-Williams store just about anywhere, right? Yeah. So,
and do a touch up if there so happens to be a need for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So,
which is great to have that relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. And gives credibility to our brand as well, knowing, customers feel comfortable that our product is coated with a brand recognized around the world. They're the largest paint manufacturer in the world, right?
Yep. Globally. That's what is interesting about it. I wanted to ask you, Grant, is has it become a challenge to educate the tradespeople about you guys and about your products?
Yeah, I think everyone in a manufacturing world has challenges reaching all of their specific customers. For us, our biggest challenge is we're a manufacturer, and we sell through distribution, who sells to a dealer who then has a relationship with an installer or builder. We try to get to that end customer right away and develop those relationships. And then when you have that relationship, of course, then you want to train them and give all your information and your knowledge to them to make sure that they're putting it on properly or conveying your message properly. But we've got some really good relationships, and we're always trying to find that end user a little more frequently, so we can have that relation, and they can have a relationship with us, so we can answer questions for them specifically, rather than have to go to 2 or 3 different channels to get an answer.
Have you? I know that, or do you know the booth number? That's at the building.
231.
231, right?
231,
what section of it is going to be part of the? I guess it's going to be part of the Construct Canada.
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I thought it was, right? Are you? Were you guys there last year? Yeah,
we were. Yeah,
I know that we're coming out of the funny years, and it's kind of like I'm assuming this year is going to probably bring back to the glory days of the building show.
Yeah, we're hoping that it's going to be heavy traffic through there. We had gone away from it for a number of years. So I think last year was our first or second year. And then prior to that, we hadn't been for a number of years. But it's such a key market for us and a key show for us, because we do get to meet all those pro customers and the architects as well that are there, that, is so important to our business. And we can, hopefully spend a bit of time with them and share what our value proposition is to them and learn about their projects as well. Yeah,
well, I'm hoping that they listen to this show and then they get an idea that I'm physically touching the product here and I'm seeing the quality, that they should actually consider going in there and having a conversation and discuss the product. And it's definitely the colors and also the product itself, the profiles themselves and the different finishes. That's where I'm seeing a lot of the quality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't appreciate it. I mean, it's nice to go to the website. It's nice to see imagery, see a brochure and things like that. But real tradespeople want to touch products.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So I'd love to get into some of the profiles that you want to share, and then so we can see that and talk about those ones, because obviously the whole house is not about siding vertically or horizontally.
We also try to allow the customer to differentiate themselves. Can we see that on the, are you good there?
If you can go towards that way a little bit. Yeah. There you go.
Good.
Okay. Or you put it right in front of the mic. That's better. That's totally
good. Aside from colors and textures and finishes, another way customers differentiate their homes is, the accents that are on it. We make a whole wide range of trims and moldings. So if someone is looking to really decorate the outside of their home to make it as elaborate and ornate as possible, let's say they like the Victorian look and they want to have a lot more, of that kind of accent pieces to it, you can do that with our trims. If you want to have it just a little bit more of a, very linear, very contemporary look, we can do that with just trims that we've got. So, we try to give people as much options as possible to allow their creativity to flow.
And then you are offering those, with the 3 different finishes and most of the colors, not some of the custom colors, but most of the colors also.
Yeah.
available.
So actually with our trims, you can use any color as well, whether it's any of our solid stains, or any of our proprietary colors, like in our Atlantic series or a semi-transparent series. So you can do that with all of our trims as well. So this just kind of shows a little bit of a snapshot. On the back of this board, it kind of gets into
what you guys really do.
Yeah, a little bit more of some of the profiles. So,
so you got the larger and the smaller corners, and
Yeah.
and I love it. It's an easy corner, so it locks in nice and tight.
yeah. And so what's nice about the easy corner, it's one piece,
Yeah,
right? So you put it up on the corner and affix it to the wall, and that's it. We have 2-piece corners as well, which some people prefer, but again, this is part of the options that customers have. All right, so.
It's like I go back to the conversation with Lisa, how you guys are basically looking at it through the perspective of the client, the homeowner, the end user.
Yeah, for sure.
So they get an idea of what's out there and what's going to benefit them, their install.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. So, yeah, we just try to give people as many options as possible. And, again, the whole idea is to, have them be inspired and look at our products and fit into their design idea. Whatever they envision at the end of their design process, we want to be able to provide them that material to put it on the wall and have that dream come to reality. Yeah.
I'd love, Grant, for you to kind of share some insight. I mean, sometimes there's situations where there's a product, not a failure, but something happens for whatever reason, whether that could have been like the building envelope or something wasn't, just something, whatever. How do you guys handle that? Because tradespeople listening are always curious about, I've done enough roundtables and enough shows that when I ask a tradesperson that's in the business, what do they expect from suppliers? Mm-hmm. Their number one go-to answer for all of them that I've always heard is just customer service and communication.
Yeah.
Just knowing that they have my back when there is a problem. Like not everything's
support.
perfect.
Yeah.
The support.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So much like our manufacturing process, where we're always looking for continuous improvement, it was the same thing for us as we kind of went through this warranty process as well. And we call it a warranty because every time someone reaches out to us with an issue of our product, regardless of the stage as to where it's at in the installation, whether it's just arrived on the job site or it's been on the home for 10 years, we look at that as some sort of a warranty process. When the product goes on the home, what we want to do with our builder, architect, installer is we want that relationship to be transferred from them to us. So we can deal with the homeowner directly. Prior to it being installed or as it is being installed, if there is any questions that they have on it, we want to be able to deal with them directly and answer their questions and concerns as they're going through the process. Previously, in years prior, our warranty process was somewhat of a little bit of a clunky process because we really didn't have a discipline on it. Mm-hmm. And customers told us it takes too long to resolve these matters. So we changed our process, and our warranty group meets at least monthly, if not more frequently. And their objectives now is whenever someone reaches out to us and has a concern, be it a homeowner, contractor, wherever the process is, we open up a claim, we give them a number. If we don't have all the information that we're looking for, we ask for more information. Usually it's pictures or samples or things like that. So at least we can kind of investigate it from our side. The first thing that we do is we go back to our manufacturing records and look at color, profile, any issues through the production line that we may have experienced. And we validate our process first to make sure that we put the right product out. As a matter of fact, when we ship a product out of our facility, we take pictures of it being bundled and we show pictures of it leaving the facility, right? So we take pictures of it actually on the truck leaving the facility.
Wow.
So that we know it left in good shape, right? So,
but that keeps Lisa a record of all the runs that are going on and at what stage. So then she's aware, and the plant's aware.
Yeah.
If anything it does happen, they can kind of pinpoint.
Right. Yeah. So that's step one. Now, then as we kind of go further down the path now, so if a customer reaches out to us and they say, we have an experience with this issue, we ask for pictures of the installation, we ask for pictures of ventilation, we ask for just a number of different things, and then we start the evaluation process with our warranty group from there. It then goes to we either can resolve it by looking at pictures, or we may have to send someone out, whether it's a third-party inspector or a Fraser representative goes out and looks at the site on their own. Now you can imagine, we're somewhat of a small company. We don't have boots on the ground everywhere. Hiring a third-party person can take a bit of time, but our objective really is to have that claim or that warranty process. We try to resolve it within 30 days. As long as we have all the information, we try to resolve it, give some answers as to what the root cause of the problem was, or if it's maintenance, and we try to resolve it that way and try to satisfy the customer as quickly as possible.
I'd love for you to get into a little bit of what you guys are obviously recommending regarding installation, because I'm assuming that as you guys have been building your brand and the products, you've also been building your network of skilled tradespeople that know how to work with your product and care about installing it a certain way. But you guys are also presenting ideas of how it should be installed too.
Yeah. That's one of the things that we're working hard on, is to have that link with the installer where we can say this is a certified installer. We're not there yet, and there's some complexities to it that we have to work through. But from an installation standpoint, that is always our first concern when we look at our product on the wall, is we want to make sure that it is installed correctly, because if it's not installed correctly, that's where a lot of problems can start. And this kind of goes back to the late 80s, early 90s, when there was a rain screen issue that started out in Western Canada and caused a whole bunch of mold and, product failures and things like that. So code these days is you have to have the proper rain screen on any wall before you put up, especially wood cladding. Other claddings, not necessarily, but for wood claddings, you have to have the proper rain screen. And by a rain screen, what we want is we want to have furring strips set up, in different configuration, whether you're putting on the product horizontally or vertically, but we need to have that proper ventilation behind the wall. That manages moisture, it manages heat buildup. Yep. And if you got the proper rain screen on, really the product should perform flawlessly forever, right? So,
well, I mean, this was designed long time ago, how, Mother Nature attacks the home a certain way, all kinds of different climates. But if it's installed correctly and you have, I guess the number one thing is that ventilation.
Absolutely.
Like wood is natural. It has to get wet. It's going to get wet.
Yeah.
And you have to let it dry.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're attracting problems at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just with the cladding. I mean, if you don't have proper clearances as well to allow that airflow to move, now you're going to have other issues on the home. And it could start from the outside and really work its way in. And so as long as there's proper clearances and proper, rain screen, there's not really much to go wrong. It's not like another product where the expansion and contraction of this product is going to be so severe that you're going to find that the product is going to buckle, or it's not like that, right?
No, because the product's, it's the way it's manufactured, right?
Yeah.
That's designed that way. So have you guys built up a little network of preferred tradespeople that the installers, they're recommending it now? They're actually going in and speaking on your behalf to homeowners, and when they come up in the conversation of siding comes up?
I would like to say yes, we do. But from a what's the word I'm looking for? Like technically we don't.
Okay.
We don't have that preferred program. But if someone calls us in specific areas and we know good installers, we absolutely drive business towards them.
You make the recommendation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And in every market, we know some good installers, and we say, because if someone asks us, hey, can you recommend someone to us? We could say, well, we won't recommend one, but here are 2 or 3 that have installed our product before, and we know they do a good job. You know, so that's one way
because I guess that's what happens when you get an architect, designer, or a homeowner coming to you first.
Yeah,
and then they love the product so much, their next question is going to be, after they decided on which one to go with and what color, like, do you have somebody that we could talk to about it? Because they want that assurances, right?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. And a lot of times, you know, the architects are already dealing with really good installers or tradespeople. Whether they've installed wood siding or not is another question. Most of the time they have. I mean, these guys that are working with architects, they're good, right?
You're handling wood siding. Now, you're probably handling all types of cladding, but you've definitely have handled wood siding.
Yeah, and understand the nuances to it, right? So, but it's something that we are working towards, and it's a challenge for us because, you know, we want to make sure that, you know, if we recommend someone, that they really do know how to install our product, and that developing that relationship with them for us is first and foremost. Yeah.
And then anybody can contact you guys and get a sample. Like, I mean, you're not sending a 16-footer.
Yeah. No, we don't send 16 feet.
Can you send about maybe 116? No, that's not a sample. That's an order.
Yeah. We'll send that gladly with a check. Yeah. No, but
you send samples. So
like I said earlier, I mean, our sample process is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Turnaround time is amazing. Customers all over tell us how
it makes it an easy decision at that point, right?
Because it's hot in their mind as they're going through this process. And again, whether they're early in the stage or later in the stage, but the fact that we can get it to them relatively quickly as they're kind of going through this, I think it just kind of keeps it in the forefront of their mind. And, you know, we hope that our presentation to them is good and it's memorable and there's a connection. But yeah,
I think you guys are doing it like it makes sense. It convinces me that you're giving them a sample of what they're trying to pinpoint, what their dream home is going to look like, instead of a brochure or a web link. Like you're physically getting. I go back to what you said earlier about you want to see what it looks like morning, noon, and night. Mm-hmm. You want to experience it, what that's going to be. We get it that it's a small sample. It's not a 16-footer, but at least it gives you a much better idea of what the potential is.
Yeah,
behind it, right?
100%.
So I think that's critical to do that, and I love that you guys do that. Do you want to touch a little bit of on the environmental process?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's important for us. You know, it may not be the number one priority to a customer as they're going down this path, but I think at some point, most people, whether you know you're Canadian, American, or somewhere in Europe, you have some concerns on, you know, what you're doing with your home and how it's affecting positively or negatively the environment that you live within. So us having a PEFC certification and that environmental component, while we know it's important to many people out there, may not be their number one priority. It's a very important thing for us. You know, the fact that we take wood fiber from the world, we make it into something, the fact that we, you know, replenish that or in reforest that area is important to us. Also, as a manufacturer, we're PEFC certified as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have an environmental component to our manufacturing. You know, everything that we bring into the facility, we use. You know, whether it's in final product at Fraser in our brands, or we have an environmental component that we ship it somewhere, sawdust, and you know we sell it to farmers and they use it in their their livestock pen. So everything is used. Yeah.
Well, it's amazing because you'd be surprised. I've been on plant tours before, as I mentioned to Lisa there, that the amount of material that is not used as a result, and you've got to figure out how can you repurpose this stuff.
Yeah.
Or put it somewhere that actually makes a sound advice, right?
Yeah.
So to do that, so you guys are, it's great that you guys are conscious of that as well.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I mean, don't misunderstand. I mean, it's important to us, but also part of this is also us being a responsible business owner as well. Yeah. And, we have to make sure that we maximize the yield of everything that comes in, and we make the longest boards possible. And we, give the best product possible out there because customers are paying for this. So, we know from an emotional standpoint, we're trying to do the right thing. But from a business standpoint, we also want to make sure we do the right thing as well, because if we have happy customers, we know a homeowner customer, if they're happy once, as you say, hopefully they stay in that home for, their entire
they'll
lives.
Talk to other friends, other homeowners, and first of all, they'll get compliments of their friends and their family members coming by and taking a look at it, and then the conversation will start. And at that point, if it's all positive attached to that, and like the product's amazing, the samples were amazing, the contractor was amazing, look at how amazing the home is and everything like that, they'll spread it.
Yeah.
They totally will.
Yep.
The decision process in selecting your siding and colors can be challenging, which is why Fraser Wood Siding is here to make the process as simple as possible. Their beautiful pre-finished wood siding is made using high-quality PEFC certified Canadian softwood, and it's available in 17 profiles and unlimited colors. Supplied by the global leader in paints, Sherwin-Williams. With distribution all over Canada, USA, and Europe, Fraser Wood Siding can help you achieve your desired look no matter the style. Visit their website, www.fraserwoodsiding.com, and check out their products online. You can even request a sample directly from the website. Simply click the Request a Sample link and fill in your information, and your sample will arrive in just a few days. Fraser Wood Siding, get inspired.
And, if we do all the right things and we support, and we stand behind our product all the way from landing on your doorstep and we put it on the wall and it looks great for a number of years. And if there's any questions, you reach out to us and we try to answer those questions as quickly and timely as possible. But, to the contractor and the architect, to your point earlier, like we support them. We want to make sure they feel supported. We want to make sure they feel that they're listened to, and that we're doing all the right things from a manufacturer to, make sure everyone's happy. At the end of the day, it's Fraser Wood Siding on their home. And, when everyone is gone at the end of the day and it's just that product standing on the wall, if the customer is happy at the end of the day with it, then we think we've done a pretty good job.
Do you get a chance, Grant, to visit some projects?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Day to day, because I guess that you're busy enough, but the thing is, it's difficult, I guess, but it's nice to get back onto the job sites and see a completed project.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I love going to job sites. I don't get to do it as much as I'd like to, but I love every time I go on to a job site, you look at it and you go, wow, it's, it looks really good after, 10 years. We get customers that call us and, they say it's been on their home for 15 years or whatever, and they're looking at doing a restain now. Or some people just say it looks as good as it did, the day it went up. They're thrilled with it. And we see people, the Cottage Life Show, here is a show in the Toronto area that we do every year. Yeah. Every year, cottage owners come up to us and, they say, we've had this product on our home for years and it looks great. Can I get some more touch up? Or, I have these questions. What can I do? Or I'm looking at adding on, maybe they're putting on a shed or a garage and they want to match the paint. And, so we love talking to people about our products. So, yeah.
I wanted to ask you about, let's get into a little bit of maintenance, right? Because obviously after it's done, I love educated homeowners and educated tradespeople understanding that you build a home, you build a structure. It's not going to stay perfect for the life of that structure, that eventually if you maintain it, it will last a lot longer. But at some point you will have to repaint it. Yep. But general maintenance, what are you guys recommending for everybody?
Yeah, I'm so glad we're talking about this because, it's always nice to talk about the good, right? And you'd like to just kind of be able to, stay away from the things that are a little bit of an uncomfortable conversation. Our product is not a maintenance-free product, right? I mean, I'm not sure how many products that are out there that are, but, ours has some maintenance to it. Even though we've got a great warranty, there's still maintenance that has to be done. It's not a lot, right? So we tell people at the, in the springtime as, things start to warm up a little bit and you start to see, sky's getting a little bit warmer, the sun's coming out, the weather's a little bit warmer. Walk around your house and take a look. One thing that's not covered under a warranty on Fraser Wood Siding is knot adhesion, right? So knots are just so hard, and paint doesn't adhere to that as much as it does the rest of the board. So periodically, you may see a knot to start have the paint to laminate. And when you start seeing that, use the touch-up paint that we provide and just touch it up once a year, and that's it. It's
me personally, it's character to me.
Yeah.
That's just me, right? But I see what you're saying, that a lot of homeowners might think, it looks like a blemish. It's kind of standing out now. Yeah. I want it to blend in. So it's just literally a touch-up.
Yep, and that's it. Yeah. So, and it's easy to do. Like we supply touch-up paint with all the orders that go out. You know, and there's usually enough left over at the end to do any touch-up for a couple of years. Just touch it up, and if you do it every year, then after 5 or 6 years, you know, you don't come out there in the springtime and you look at your house, you know, with more of these knots, you know, kind of standing out a little bit and maybe looking a little bit unsightly.
But general maintenance, I guess, over the years, it depends on where you live and I guess how much vehicle congestion there might be near your home, because that's what causes, I guess, dust and grime and buildup on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, are we getting as simple as just hosing it down and washing it down kind of thing?
From a cleaning standpoint, yeah, you know, a soft brush, you know, a gentle detergent. Don't use a power washer.
No.
You don't want to do that. So, but you know, from a maintenance standpoint, you know, the dust and the grime, I mean, you get that pollen, you know, even in cottage country as well. I mean,
it builds up.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing you're going to find, you know, is your westerly and southern exposures. You know, you might see might start to fade a little bit quicker than, especially with the darker color, right? So, but other than that, you know, do the touch-ups. It might be
fading into a color that you actually like at that point, right?
Could be.
Right.
Yeah, could be.
That's just I go back to the weathered. I think I would appreciate that. That is, the product's still solid. Everything's still fine. There's no damages. There's no failures or what have you. It's just the color's fading. But I guess, Grant, like at some point there is going to be a repaint.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, has that been that's not a challenging. That's just, you get painters come in, and as long as you get the right product, speaking to you guys, obviously making the recommendation.
Yeah. We always recommend Sherwin.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you use a high quality exterior paint. Sherwin has a number, but if they like a competition's color better or it's more accessible, that's fine. Just use a high end exterior paint. You know, that's good.
There might be an opportunity to actually change the color of the house.
That's exactly, you know, especially with some of the colors, you know, like if we look at our semi-transparent colors, which are a little bit lighter, you know, and don't really have as long of a warranty, you know, from an overall perspective, they might look at that and go, okay, well, yeah, maybe I don't like a lighter wood tone. I want to go with a darker color. That might be something that they can consider.
But is it, again, you recommend? Well, you wouldn't recommend, but find a reputable painter.
Absolutely.
That could take it, has done it before, understands the prep involved, and possibly if they have to touch up or repair or do some sort of, I mean, there's always going to be caulking. Yeah, you're going to have to address as well too. But that's just the nature of that product and the nature of that home.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So again, conversations,
you know, make sure you always, you know, talk to the right contractor. Chances are if you call someone on Monday and they're available to be there on Wednesday,
that's not the right contractor.
Maybe not, you know, I mean, there's good guys that are out there that are, you know, you might luck out to that, but
they might talk to you. You might have a conversation. They might be in the neighborhood and stop by and say hello, but they won't get to it until a certain point.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the house is going to fail while you're waiting for
the
right contractor. I think the moment that you're ready to go and you want to do a repaint, you're still months away from actually securing someone that's proper to do it.
Yeah.
And then focus on that. And get
much like the planning process, you know, in buying it, you're talking to guys to make sure that they can come out and do it. You're not sure what the color is going to look like anyway. So, you know, you might be looking at a different color. Yeah.
So we're getting close to the end here, Grant, and I'm just trying to figure out, I think we touched upon a lot of stuff. And is there anything that you want to bring up just as we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think we covered off a lot of good things. I mean, you know, for us, you know, we just want to make sure we get the message out there that all of our different customer demographics, be it homeowner, architect, builder, installer, are aware of our products. You know, we'd love to talk to them about projects that are coming up. We're always looking for, you know, for new ways to, you know, find and reach customers. And I'm glad we're able to come in and have a conversation with you. And it's the first time we've done this.
I just love seeing the quality. And I think that anybody that's interested is going down this path, or even if you're, listen, I'm a brick guy as well too. It's just like, but there's certain homes that just will go this route and makes a lot more sense at that point. But I mean, by all means, reach out to them, have a sample, take a look at it, consider it. And I love that you guys are so aware of what the market is looking at. Like what the market is considering today, what you guys are considering for tomorrow, you're trying to figure out. And it's nice that you guys have thoughts in Europe, you have thoughts in the US, and you have thoughts in Canada. So you're getting such a huge cross-section of homeowners and tradespeople giving you input.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys start looking at what your products are going to look like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now.
You bet.
It's going to help because now you're going to start having some great products. And I know off mic, you've shared some thought about another product that hopefully I get to see in the near future. And I definitely agree with you. It's a smart idea. It's a wonderful idea. So I'm very respectful of companies that are thinking this way because it only benefits the industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ultimately, it benefits the client.
Yep. And, we just try to, put our best foot forward out there so that people know that, we do make a great product. And, relationship is important. And I think that as someone is looking for a product for their home, that they know a little bit more about the company itself. And, I'm glad that we're able to share not only, kind of how we manufacture and all the different products that we have, but, you can meet some of the people on our team as well. And, hopefully we've been able to articulate a little bit about who we are and what we do, and a little bit more of a understanding of the business itself. We're not just a name out there. We actually have people that, really care about the product that we put out, and we have a lot of passion into our business, and we hope it shows in the product that we make.
It totally does. It totally does. I do want to say one thing for anybody that's purchasing the product and a general contractor is considering purchasing the product and using it on a project, add a little bit more product, not for the contingency of just actually the structure. Add it so then your shed could match your house.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
I'm just saying it's not a bad idea to actually have a shed that matches the house.
Yeah.
Or your tree house can match the house.
Yeah.
Like it's not a bad idea. Just get a little bit, maybe 10, 15% more, and then use that material, or even use the offcuts. And start building it and use it for a shed, use it for a treehouse, use it for a doghouse. I'm just saying this is what the show does to me. It gets me these ideas and I just throw them out there and hopefully people will do them and work on them and share those ideas from there.
It's funny you say that. Just a kind of a side note. Our new president of the company is a younger gentleman, like in the grand scheme of things. Like he's not like he's 20, but
everybody's younger than us.
and he's got a young family, and he was telling me a story last week about how he's got a cottage, and so he's bought all his product. He's put Fraser on his house, and he's put Fraser on his mother's house, and he's got the material left over. So what's he doing? He's putting on his kid's treehouse, and I laugh because it's exactly what you were just saying.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's totally brilliant to do that. So that's why I'm just don't forget that factor.
Yeah, you bet.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right, I got the 2 to 10 questions for you, but I just want to let everybody know. Grant here, Fraser Wood Siding, FraserWoodSiding.com. IG is Fraser Siding, and numbers to reach them is 506-736-6990, and then 1-888-457-3898, and then also your email to reach you is gcowx@FraserWoodSiding.com. You ready for these questions?
Yeah. Sure.
They're not siding questions. Well, they can be.
Uh-oh.
They can be. What everyday sound brings you joy?
Laughter.
What's your favorite beverage?
Yeah, water. Yeah.
What's your least favorite tool?
Least favorite tool?
It doesn't have to be like construction related. It could be any tool in life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it could be any tool in life.
Yeah, I'd say probably a hacksaw.
They're almost useless these days.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so many things out there that you can use, and you can keep it straighter than a hacksaw.
I still have one.
I have 3. And maybe that's why I hate it, because every time I look
because
for
you
it,
couldn't find the first and
that's
second
exactly
one?
it.
You had to buy the third one?
Yeah.
What turns you on creatively?
Ideas. Yeah. Just, looking at what people are doing out there. Just free thinking. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
What word or concept do you find overused?
That being said.
Yeah.
That being said.
Yeah. I don't like that one.
Not a fan of that.
Yeah,
it's like kind of redundant, right? That being said.
That being said. Your favorite curse word?
Can I say it on the air?
Well, you could say it. It's up to you. But I mean, we've been keeping this show clean. So that one question I usually let everybody pass if they don't want to share it.
Yeah. I think everyone knows it. It's,
the go-to.
Yeah, the go-to.
The go-to.
Yeah.
What's your favorite vehicle in the entire world?
Oh, I love my motorcycles.
What do you got?
I ride a cruiser. So I've got a Roadstar, but I love the Indian motorcycles. Absolutely love the Indian motorcycles.
I liked it when they relaunched them back in the late 90s.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job of keeping the character, keeping
You
the
bet.
heritage.
Yeah, that whole flair, you know,
Somebody knew what they were doing by redoing that bike.
yeah.
It's nice.
They've carved their way into this, you know, new little, I shouldn't say new, this area where Harleys kind of had their,
They owned it.
Yeah, and now Indians kind of come in, and you know they've got these great products out there, and they look different, and you can still punch them up a little bit with a little bit more throaty mufflers, and yeah, I love it, and they look different.
Yeah,
you know,
that's nice.
But I'm also a fan of having a motorcycle for every day. You know,
I'm
some
the same
days
way. I'm not at that point where I think that people ask you how many bikes do you need in your life. I go, how many days in the week are there?
I need 7.
Like, I'm sorry, you need 7 bikes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that it'll be easy for me to get to 7 bikes of different types of bikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I could totally pull off 7 of them.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I'm riding along and I see a dirt road somewhere. I'm like, oh, that'd be a nice ride.
Yeah.
You know, you can't do it on a 700-pound cruiser, right? So, but
you can, but I don't know how long you'll do it for.
Yeah.
What do you miss from your childhood?
Yeah, probably just the freedom and the, you know, at what point do you kind of grow up and you go, when did you stop running everywhere?
When the first bill shows up.
Yeah, you know, just like that free lifestyle, you know, you laughed at everything and everything was just worry-free. Yeah, that was kind of cool.
If you could master a skill outside of your own expertise, what would it be?
Yeah, you know, you always try to be a better parent, you know, so probably that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates?
You did what, Grant? What did you do? I missed that one. But welcome anyway.
He's not even aware of it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, absolute pleasure having you on the show.
Awesome.
and
Thanks.
educating everybody here about the products. Yeah. It's a solid quality product, honestly. And I would love to install it on a project. And you could see it. You could totally see it.
I appreciate the time and the vehicle to, you know, talk about our products. I enjoyed the conversation. Yeah, it was great.
I'll bump into you at the TBS because I'll be there. I'm actually guest speaking at one of the events there for colleges and institutes.
Okay.
They're having a panel and they invited me in there to talk about labor shortage of all things, which is a huge topic in our industry.
Isn't it though?
Almost every year. I don't think ever since I got into the industry that it hasn't been a topic. So I'll be sharing my thoughts on a 90-minute conversation with 3 other, I think, guests that are going to be there. So
we'll have to catch it.
No, I'll bump into you guys. Yeah. I'll check out the booth and everybody, and I encourage everybody to go out there. And the booth number again was 231. All right, Grant, thank you so much again. And let me just share the deets again. Fraser Wood Siding, www.fraserwoodsiding.com. On IG, it's Fraser Siding, and then the numbers to reach them is 506-736-6990, and also the toll free, which is 1-888-457-3898. And your email is gcowx@fraserwoodsiding.com. That's it.
Thanks, Manny.
Thanks, Grant.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And Angelina, thank you.
We're out of here.